The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is The Ashholes. Each week, they smoke a different cigar, sometimes the same cigar, but mostly different, and they give their honest impression. They always assign an official Ashholes rating to that cigar. So, pull up a chair, light up, relax, be an Ashhole too. It's very rewarding.
Broadcasting live from the Studio 21 Cigars studio above Two Guys Smoke Shop in Salem, New Hampshire. This is the Ashholes Podcast. Or today, if you're listening, it's actually the Ash Heels Podcast. April Fools, everybody, welcome to a very special show we've got planned for you today. I am Sarah, former Ashholes co-host and host, returning for a very fun show. And I'm joined here by two lovely ladies. Agnes, hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Welcome, welcome.
So excited to be sitting right next to you.
I'm
like
excited
a legend
to sit next
for
to
these
you.
shows.
Oh, stop, please. Whatever. You're part of the Ash Heels now. You're officially inducted into the Ash Heels panel. This is fun. This is great. We're so excited to have you. Ruby, hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Excited.
Excited to be an Ash Heel today?
Absolutely.
I think
We're
this is
gonna rule the world today.
I like it. This is a great panel. We've got Aaron behind the board. He's an Ashhole. We're not going to make him an Ash Heel today.
Yeah, you can't get rid of me.
His wizardry behind the board's irreplaceable, I think is the proper word. So thanks for helping us out today, Aaron. Ladies.
No problem. The chat room is blowing up.
Are they? Surprise,
yeah.
everybody. Welcome. We can't wait. This is great. Yeah, leave us your feedback. Let us know if we tank it so Dave can yell at us later, or let us know if we're doing great, and maybe we'll come back. You never know. This is a really exciting show. I'm so excited to be up here with both you ladies. I think it's great to get fellow females in the cigar industry in the same spot talking about the thing that we all love, which is cigar smoking. So what are we smoking today?
Right, it's my cue. Well, today we are going to light up Montosa Natural Churchill. It's from Dominican Republic. Size is 6.75 by 50. Wrapper is Ecuadorian Connecticut shade, and binder is Mexican San Andres, and filler is Dominican and Indonesian. And it's priced at $8.99 per single and $152.99 per box of 20. It is a beautiful cigar. It comes from Arnold Andre. It's a factory. It's a big manufacturer in Germany. 200-year history. So it's epic. We're smoking epic cigar today.
An epic cigar today. I've smoked this before. Have you ladies smoked this before?
Yes.
I have. I start with this every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Hell
My
yeah.
routine.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. You can find the cigar at twoguyscigar.com. That's two, the number two, guyscigars.com. I'm a little out of practice. All right. It's time, I'd say, to light our cigars. Brought to you by Perdomo. The hottest. Oh, sorry. See, this is the training wheels are off now. It's the hottest brand in the land. Perdomo, a company founded on quality, tradition, and excellence.
One draw, that's the law. One draw, that's the law. One draw, that's the law.
One Draw, That's the Law is brought to you by Abuelo Cigars. You're going to live under my roof, you're going to play by my rules. Abuelo Cigars.
Wait, we were supposed to do cold draw first?
Every time I light this, before I light it, it doesn't matter. It still tastes that nutty, buttery, creamy all the time.
On the cold draw?
Right on the cold.
Is that what you like in a cigar? Is that what your palate preference is?
Recently now, it's Maduro, which
Okay.
I just found out. But that was all on a trip.
Okay. What trip did you go on,
When I
Ruby?
went to Nicaragua.
You were in Nicaragua.
Perdomo's tour. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, I love, the natural in Connecticut, but a good Maduro.
So this is not that, but you smoke it every morning.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you reach for this one?
It goes well with my coffee.
It is so buttery. Right off the first draw. It reminds me of a cup of coffee.
Yep.
A little bit. Agnes, have you smoked? You said you smoked this before?
Yes, I actually get paid to smoke these cigars. It's part of my beautiful portfolio from United Cigars.
She's doing the job we all wish we could be doing, everybody.
Even if I wasn't getting paid, I would smoke this. I love it.
This was interesting. We got this in at Two Guys, and at the time, I was just a customer, and I hadn't reached for it yet. And I went home. My father's a customer as well, and I saw a box in his humidor, and I was like, "What? We just got that in. How did you get it?" He had it ordered, shipped. So my first time smoking it was actually with my dad. Fantastic cigar. You talk about the buttery, the nuttiness. I think it's smooth. You're not going to get anything aggressive on this. For in the morning, it's great, but the flavor is so nice that you could enjoy it in the afternoon as well, right? It's not too subtle. It's not too boring or anything like that. So Montosa Churchill Natural. This also comes in a Maduro.
Yep.
Ruby, have you smoked the Maduro in this?
Yes, I have.
Do you still reach for this one instead?
I have this one in the morning, and then usually I use the other one for dessert.
Okay. All right. I love that. I love it.
I don't have a lot of sugar in my diet, so because of my stomach. But
Sure.
aside from that, that's why I go for the cigar that has that flavor, that chocolate, the dark, and that
Kind of natural.
like chocolate cake
Yeah.
without the calories.
Wouldn't that be a blessing? Right. Get your chocolate fix with cigars, folks. I think that's what our takeaway from today is. Yeah, even off the first few puffs, it's so good. It's so good. And $8.99 for a Churchill I don't know if you guys have been in a cigar store lately, is incredible for what's going to smoke for probably an hour and a half for me, maybe an hour 15.
Yeah, it's affordable. I mean,
It is. Yeah. It's such a great price. Box of 20 is $152.99. I mean, if you're looking for, take it from Ruby, an everyday smoke, this is a great option for you. So, yeah, I haven't smoked this in a while, but I remember it just as fondly as I do right now. This is great. This is great. All right, well, the Ash Heels are here, folks. I don't know if we're here to stay, but we're here for today. And I just thought we'd take some time to get to know who your awesome panel is. I'm a familiar face, although I haven't been here in a while, but I just wanted to know about you ladies. Your history with cigars. This is something that we all share in common.
well, did you ladies know? Today's April Fool's.
Yes.
Do you all know what happened in 2010, I think?
Should I Google it? And is Google going to produce an answer?
I think another podcast started on April 1st.
In 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cigar Authority.
Get out of the city. Are you for real?
Yes. So I think it's just meant to be.
This is too perfect. On April 1st, 2010. I'm looking at Dave. There you go. Well, I guess happy birthday to the Cigar Authority and April Fools. That's probably the best combo you've got. Dave's in the audience confirming for us.
Yep.
Wow. There you go. How many years is that? Let's see. 2010, you said? 15 years of the Cigar Authority. Wow. That's the sister podcast to the Ashholes. If you folks don't listen, you should. They're a great panel of guys. They've got a lot of knowledge and decades in the industry. Give them a listen. They're kind of the tee up for the Ashholes, and I think we play nice together most of the time. Most of the time. Thanks for sharing that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how did you get started? I mean, so you know what you're talking about. How did you get started in cigars? What's your background with this industry?
Well, my grandfather really started teaching me about cigars. I was about 40 years old, and he loved those Avanti cigars with that big smell of, like Italian cookies. So
Okay.
every time you went into the house, you smelled, anisette. And my grandmother was there. Frank, you're stinking up the place. My cookies don't even smell this bad when I cook them. So, he was smoking. So I would say, I don't know, I'm not really sure. They weren't the greatest cigars now that I had different experiences with them. But I wish he was here. He's not, but I wish he was here to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I got my start. And then, of course, I've been a customer of Two Guys for a very long time. And the knowledge I got just from coming into the store, and their customer service has always been great. No, and it's not because I work for two guys, but I've been in so many other retail stores, and the bad customer service,
It is just rampant.
It's awful. It's, yeah.
Yeah. They have a special sauce here for sure, as far as how they talk to customers. And they share the knowledge, right? Like they'll walk you through as detailed as you want it to be or as quick as you want it to be. That's something that I think they nail here every time.
And it's no pressure. It's like no pressure. And I always say this, the cigar sells it. They can talk about it, they can educate, but it's what you have on your shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been a customer here for a long time.
For a very long time. And before this, I mean, I gave up my, I have a different type of briefcase that I carry, which holds all my cigars and paraphernalia. So I went from teaching to listen to people's problems for therapy, and now my love of cigars is my hobby and my passion for it became now my career.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I call this the great equalizer because people from all different walks of life, like you'll go down to the lounge, you can ask everybody what they do, and it's a teacher or a CEO, a garbage man. You've got sometimes it's staff from other stores. Like it's just anybody and everybody can come here and sit and enjoy the same product, a premium product made with consideration and attention. And I think that's really special. And I don't find that there's a lot of spaces that do that anymore. There's not a lot of hobbies that bring people into a space where you're sitting quietly, you can talk, you can be to yourself, but it's really kind of unique and special about cigars specifically.
Well, it's nice now with, the technical age and everybody on social media. It's nice to have a face and nice to have a conversation. And I think people forget how to be social and communicate.
For sure. For sure. So you've got a long background. You've got a rich history. You've been to Nicaragua. That's incredible. Agnes, I know your story is a little different. What's your history with cigars? I mean, people probably recognize you some watching from your social media, but where's your start in the cigar industry?
So cigars were more of a favor 5 years ago. I had a client at Chanel because I worked for luxury retail, and her son was dabbling into cigar kind of industry a bit. So she asked me to post some things on social media. I was like, well, this is interesting. So I looked into that because it always fascinated me, cigars in general. I lived in London for a long time, so everybody smoked their cigars as a status symbol, as something, very different. So moving here, it was like completely different vibe around the cigars. It was more like inclusive and just exciting. So I went one day to the cigar lounge, got some cigars, and funny enough, the first two cigars that I bought were Arabe and Byron.
Okay.
And then 4
You came out
years
the gate
later,
strong.
boom, I work for the brand, which is phenomenal. Like, could not wish a better transition from like a hobby into career. And smoked Red Anchor, made a picture. Then Oliver asked me if they can use the picture. I said, sure. And then asked if I want to work for the brand. I was like, absolutely. I asked, literally it was meant to be. I asked the universe, I want to transition in a career. And this was beautiful. And I love being surrounded by men. And this is abundance of men in this industry. So
I think that's what makes this panel unique, right? We love you, Erin. We appreciate all you're doing, but it is the Ash Heels, and we are few and far between, I would say. It's just kind of a nature of the industry, but I think hearing the female voices matters. We're just like any other customer. We want to enjoy our smokes. Coming out with Arabe and Byron is crazy, by the way, out the gate. So was were you ruined? I mean, you smoked the best of the...
Here was how was my theory about where I should start, because I did not know about, cigars and how fantastic they are and what it takes to roll a cigar and the fermentation of the tobacco, the process and the aging. It's insane, all that goes into rolling this beautiful stick. So since I come from luxury retail, I thought, well, let me start from the top. So I did a little research. So brands like Arabe, Byron would pop up, and then, Opus and whatnot. I was like, all right, I'll start from the top, and then I'll work my way down explore, not be judgmental. And so it is that I'm still with the best, with the best team, with the best brand, and love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so different from how most people approach, I think, this particular hobby. Is they'll start out with kind of like the starter cigars. And I mean, I would recommend this for anybody, actually. Montosa Natural is great if you're unsure of your palate. This isn't going to be too offensive. It's not going to have any pepper surprises or anything like that. Very smooth, very buttery. I think Ruby's comment about cup of coffee is spot on. They start there and they work their way up to those ones. So there's some interesting logic going backwards. And I think there's a boldness to that that's really cool. Because I love those. Atabay and Byron are fantastic. Like, I'll smoke those every day if I can someday. How is the Montosa treating you so far? What do you guys think?
It's creamy. It has that delicate spice, because even though I love Atabay, it's like in a completely different realm for many reasons. I love flavor to it, that it's not boring me, and this one has that flavor in there. It's mild, I would say mild to medium, but it has that delicate spice, a lot of creaminess, perfect draw, which is important for me.
Yeah, you don't want to fight with a cigar.
No.
You know, when you start having to fight with a cigar, my rule growing up, my dad, I got into it because inadvertently, it was actually my mother. Mom, if you're listening to this, I tell everybody that. Got my dad into cigars, and then my dad took it as a light hobby and ran with it. And like the humidor was in within a week. He had boxes ordered. He didn't even know what he was smoking regularly yet, but he just went all in. And they would smoke on the porch in the summertime. And when I was 18, it was still the legal age for cigars. I wanted to have a cigar with them. That was kind of my rite of passage. And so I did on that day. I had a Padron 26. I don't remember what size. It was a lot, though. I was spinning a little bit. That was a hell of a cigar to jump right in with. And that was it for me. It was always something I enjoyed with my dad, kind of a hobby. Was in college. You can't really find a nice cigar lounge in college, unfortunately, but there was a gas station that had like Monte Cristos and some Fuentes, and that got me through the college years, but it just kind of stuck, and that's how I've been smoking it. But yeah, I don't know, it's not as cool of an entrance as, the Italian cookie smell in the house, or starting with Atabay and Byron, but I think that's what's cool about this industry, right? Everyone's got a different story. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to show, I guess, people today with this is, let's talk about the origins, right? Because those are the stories that kind of make people
absolutely
unique in this.
But I think there's more women coming out, not, I don't want to say embarrassed, but comfortable smoking.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily talking about it, but just being around, other people.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid of going, into a cigar lounge, cigar bar, whether you're by yourself or with a significant other.
Because that can be intimidating.
Yeah,
right? Like,
it can.
especially like you go into a lounge and it's, most men are great, but it's still intimidating. It's a hobby that there's not a lot of representation for us, and that's a big deal. But you're right, that comfortability is, I see it on social media especially. It's kind of coming around now for women in the industry who want to just enjoy, smoke, or be a part of it. I mean, work in the industry. I went to I was in Florida with my husband, and we went to a couple lounges. There was just as many women sitting there smoking as there were men, and I'd never seen that before. There was some working too. Working in the industry, I think, is kind of becoming a more.
I wonder why that is, though. I wonder why now, like all of a sudden now.
I don't know. Maybe it goes back. You talk about like the technical age. I think there's that craving of wanting to connect with people face to face. In a lounge, sitting down, conversations. I think we're all craving that, and this just happens to be one of the things that. I mean, you could go sit in a corner on your phone, but you also might miss out on some pretty incredible people or opportunities to chat. Networking. People don't come in to the lounge to network, but it happens. Like there's just that atmosphere of kind of baked in camaraderie when you're all smoking this. So maybe it's that.
I feel like women in the cigar industry, it's not like, I feel like men were gatekeeping this fantastic thing, cigars. You know, the women were not like invited to the lounges. It was like the men's world. And I feel like sometimes men escape their better parts going to a lounge. Their shoulders drop, they relax, they light up their cigars. So it was done with a purpose to keep the women out. And now they see the benefits of it, having that lovely company and having conversations. And so I blame men for not having women earlier on. You know, it's because it's fantastic. You can meet all people from all kinds of walks of life and different hobbies, and it's really nice hobby.
Well, apparently, you know, you can do what I'm doing now, and my shed's almost completed.
Oh boy, like a smoke shed?
Like a smoking shed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I want to experience what it is to say, bye, everybody. I'm going into my shed.
I'm signing off for the
tuning
day.
out. That's it.
I
mean, I'm
love
not
that.
going to have my humidor in there, obviously.
Sure.
And that's another story. I grew out of that, but I learned.
Okay.
But I'll have my TV and just...
So it's your den, right?
Yeah.
You like made your cigar
and I
den.
mean, not just like, like the guys have it all rustic and natural looking. It's insulated and its walls are up, and I'm at the point where paint's going to go up and interior. You girls know who Lisa
Like
Vanderpump is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be like the outside world combined with Lisa Vanderpump. Elegant cigar lounge.
Oh, heck
where
yeah.
women can come and just relax and enjoy.
I like that. We need dens, right? We need our cigar dens too, all right?
So it's a women's den only?
Yeah.
I like it. Does it have a name? Are you going to name it?
Well, I have a sign that's going to be, once the ground is able to dig a hole, I'm going to have a sign that's going to be Ruby Cannoli Way, crosses something. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to have a fake mailbox. In case you want to drop me a note. And not the note, what's for dinner?
Yeah, because you're
But-
not doing that. You're in your
No.
you're in your den. You're having your stogie.
In my space. Oh, yeah.
I love that. I'll come over. I'll have a cigar.
I hope.
I'll sign off. My spouse doesn't smoke at all. I can't get him to even look at a cigar. So
It'll be spirits, wine, cigars. I mean, I don't know,
say less.
music. I'm going to have my own launch in my yard and,
Wow.
yep.
I love this. I might have to take some notes for the day that I might have my own home to build my own she shed, my she den, whatever we want to call it. But I love that.
Well,
Reclaim the den.
my husband has his shed. Then you look at mine. Size matters, ladies.
Always.
And
Whoever said otherwise is lying. Just saying.
So whose shed is bigger? Yours?
Yes.
Yes, it is. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So we're not going to be here for the second half of the show. We're going to be in her she den. No, I'm kidding. Ladies, let's take a break. And when we come back, we are going to keep chatting as the Ash Heels, keep smoking the Montosa Natural, and get into some top fives and the not Killed Man's Corner today, but stay tuned. You'll see what's up.
Only Great Leaf makes great cigars. Aganorsa Leaf stands out because of the distinctive mouth-watering flavors of the Corojo 99 and the Criollo 98 seeds, cultivated by Cuban agronomists on the best lands in Jalapa and Esteli, Nicaragua. When you smoke one of the JFR Lunatic, Guardian of the Farm, or Casa Fernandez cigars, you will experience the unique taste and aroma that makes Aganorsa Leaf different than any other tobacco in the world. Smoke one today and enjoy the signature flavor of Aganorsa Leaf.
Hello, cigar aficionados. This is Klaus Kellner from Davidoff Cigars. I invite you to taste the elements with Davidoff Escurio, Nicaragua, and Yamasa. From water comes originality. Savor the sweet and spicy originality of the Davidoff Escurio tobaccos born by the rains of Bahia, Brazil. From fire comes intensity. Enjoy the bittersweet aromas and fiery intensity of the Davidoff Nicaragua. From earth comes complexity. Taste the earthy flavors and complex spices that are unique to the red soil of the Yamasa region in Dominican Republic. Only Davidoff Master Blenders could take the power of nature and blend it into a range of exceptional cigars, each element making each cigar a unique experience. Water, fire, earth, flavors that have risen from the very world itself. I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Davidoff Cigars, cigar adventures to a wider world.
Introducing the Romeo y Julieta, Reserva Real Nicaragua, Midnight Twist, a bold evolution of a classic favorite. This unique cigar features a striking barber pole wrapper, intertwining Nicaraguan Habano and Maduro leaves, creating a visual and flavorful masterpiece. Beneath its jewel-toned exterior lies a rich blend of Nicaraguan tobaccos, delivering a medium to full-bodied profile. Experience a symphony of flavors, from earthy spices and pepper to indulgent notes of cocoa and coffee, all culminating in a smooth, satisfying finish. Handcrafted by the legendary duo, Rafael Nodal and AJ Fernandez, the Midnight Twist offers a smoking experience that's as captivating as its appearance. Elevate your evening with the Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real Nicaragua Midnight Twist. Available now.
Well,
we are back live from the Studio 21 Cigar Studio above Two Guys Smoke Shop in Salem, New Hampshire. Welcome, the Ash Heels, and today we're smoking the Montosa Natural in the Churchill size. Smoking this through the break. It is still exquisite. I forgot how much I like this, and I'll probably be walking home with some singles today. If you're new and you're just listening, you can subscribe to the Ash Holes on YouTube and email us if you have any thoughts, ideas, letters, notes, love letters for the kilt man who's not here today at theashholespodcast@gmail.com. That's the ashholespodcast@gmail.com. I about took their email too. Jeez, getting ahead of myself a little bit. How is this treating you, ladies? I mean, I'm an inch or two in now. I mean,
Didn't have to relight.
yes, that's huge.
You don't even understand how many times I just want to go to the bathroom and come back and not have to fight with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
That's such a good observation. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because so often you put something down for a cigar down a minute. Sometimes it goes out, and like you're a pro. You know how to handle
Nah.
a cigar. Like the fact that you have to relight it is kind of annoying, right? Yeah, that's perfect. Agnes, what are you thinking?
it's starting to feel like a bit of biscotti, like cookies, and goes perfectly with coffee. I don't drink alcohol, but I can imagine it goes with like pretty much anything, even tequila, So
It is light enough. I think you could do it with a tequila. You can't do that with every cigar, but I mean, it would go great with a bourbon. It'd go great with coffee.
This really goes well with honey whiskey.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, with a little sweetness on the whiskey, absolutely.
maybe I should start drinking.
Maybe you
Sounds
should.
really good.
I cut it out too, so I'll join you in the imaginations of the honey whiskey.
When you come, I'll mix drinks.
There you go. I'm not picky.
To the den. I love it. I love it. Do we have any letters today in the mailbox, Agnes? I was wondering if you had something for us.
We do have a letter in our mailbox. I should get glasses, but so it is from Leslie Korn, and the subject line is Ruby Cannoli.
Okay.
It says, "Hello, Ashholes. I wanted to send out props to Ruby from last week's show. I must admit that I'm writing to go on one of these Perdomo trips and would love to know more about how Jay Dwayne, what did I miss there? I don't know, can book a trip so he can take me there. On a different note, I think Ruby would be excellent addition to the Ashholes weekly panel. She brings knowledge and expertise with that feminine flair that we Ash Heels appreciate and respect. Looking forward to seeing you all in September. Regards, Leslie of the Corn."
Oh, thank you, Leslie. That's so sweet. That means a lot.
Thanks, Leslie. That's awesome. So, the Nicaragua question, right? I mean, you mentioned that you went. What's up with that planning, that trip? What did that look like?
I'll tell you, a lot of the planning was out of my hands.
Okay.
It was well planned by their team. You just have to make sure you're available for certain dates. The other thing I will tell you, as a female, comfortable shoes, no heels, it's not like camping, but it's not like the Marriott. It's not, and it's fine. It's totally fine. But you start to appreciate your personal travel. You go there and you're like, wow, you really don't need a lot.
Yeah.
Don't overpack. Bring necessities. As you get older, that toiletry bag is the most important part of the whole trip.
Yeah.
But, there were a few people that weren't feeling well on the trip. Nick was very good. One phone call, he calls the doctor, and they're ready to help you and treat you, so you don't have to worry about that.
Awesome.
Food and diet, they always ask you. People that have, sleep apnea, that was one thing I was impressed with. Don't forget your machine.
Oh, okay. All right.
The outlets there are the same as here. You don't have to worry about that. But we all like to overpack. It's not worth it. I mean, I didn't have to. I don't think they allow you to check luggage.
Okay.
But I didn't. I had my, carry-on bag and my personal item, and I was totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to match my outfits and do all that. You can, and you wear comfortable sneakers. You do a lot of walking. You are tired. But he runs it like a school. He runs it as a classroom, so you can get, hands-on knowledge. So you know how to talk, and you know how to explain things. And listen, I'm still learning, and learning is going to be all the time. It's not just one shot and you know everything.
Yeah.
But Leslie, I really think you should go. It's a great experience. Take lots of pictures. I'm still trying to sort through mine and make an album and all that. But I will tell you, one thing I joked about the last time, those tobacco plants are as tall as me.
Are they really?
I could get lost. If my husband really wants to lose me, he could lose me easily over there in the tobacco.
We'll know where to find you, though.
Yeah, we'll go look in the tobacco.
We have bright colors. That's very important too. But no, it was amazing. You're not hungry.
Yeah.
You're not hungry. You're not thirsty.
That's incredible. You talk about the constant learning, and there's always a new cigar coming out. There's always something new happening in this industry, and I think as long as you're open to learning, you can learn forever.
Well, all the cigars
time.
you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you're smoking all the time. It was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And are they walking through different blends, different, all that? Yeah. That's incredible.
You're smoking on the bus, off the bus. It's like,
That's incredible. Incredible. Sounds like an awesome trip, and I appreciate Leslie sending in that letter. We should do an Ash Shields trip to Nicaragua. Dave. All right, folks, if you want to smoke along with us, and you'll be familiar to our listeners who are regulars, to those who aren't, something called the Dave's Weekly Six-Pack is the way to stay in touch with what the ash holes are smoking. You can find it each week on twoguyscigars.com. It's hidden away. It's not going to be right in the front, very obvious. So go to the search bar at the top and search for Dave, and you'll find Dave's Weekly Six-Pack. It's only there for listeners on the show. This is the only place you're going to get that little tip to find the pack. So go check it out, see what we're smoking. One cigar in the pack is always what we're going to be smoking the next week. And they go fast, folks. So if you want to smoke along, join us. And we actually have the next pack here to chat about. And it's a pretty good lineup.
it is. And you know what? I'm the one that processes all the orders. So these things fly, and you can't think. You have to just decide. Don't, ladies, you're in a store and you're trying to figure out, should I get this? Forget it. It's going to be gone. You just have to jump on it. So the first one is the Montosa Churchill Natural, $8.99. I think that's just an amazing price for a Churchill, just like Sarah was saying earlier. We also have the United Connecticut Robusto at $7.49. The Bandolero Osados for $13.99. The Garofalo La Familia Maduro Robusto at $10.99. The Montosa Maduro Churchill at $8.99. Also one of my favorites. And last but not least, the Christoph PCA 2024 exclusive, $13.79. That is a total of $64.24, and the deal is $54.99 at a savings of 15% off.
That's awesome. You can do a little surf and turf with the Montosa Natural and Maduro, light maybe both up, do a little side-by-side, kind of see what the palate difference is. I do find them to be very different. Like you talked about, that sweetness is very present, but there's a pepperiness on the Maduro that I enjoy. It's not too much, but paired with that sweetness is really nice.
And it's always left in the back, like the peppery is in the back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, though, on that trip, we were blindfolded at one point.
Okay. All right.
Blindfolded, and we had to figure out what we were smoking.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So, of course, I got paired with my husband. So I'm hoping and praying to God, don't burn my nose. Because so he's supposed to, we have to lean forward.
Yeah.
Light the cigar, but he's lighting. Your partner is lighting it for you.
Okay.
So thank God I left with all my hair and
eyebrows and eyelashes.
Yeah. But you learn to, and the whole lesson was, there were people there that they thought what they usually smoke is what they were going to like the most, and it was not the case.
Really?
They were very surprised at what happened. Yeah.
That's interesting, especially when you take the eyesight out of it. And I think Maduro is, and I don't know if you ever hear this, but people think Maduro's automatically strong. It's not true always.
No,
I think there's a natural sweetness, like you said. It can be, but they'll kind of shy away from that just from the color alone. You have to kind of teach them about fillers, about binders, about wrappers, just a little bit. So they're a little bit more open to trying.
Well, also sometimes we get customers who call and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I got a box of, Maduro, and they're not the same color. Is that okay?" Yes, it's okay. The leaf is growing. It's in their natural habitat, and it's the leaf is going to be that different color, and that's something we learned. It can't be identical.
That's a handmade product.
That's the nature of it.
Right. It's a plant. This is organic.
Yeah.
It's handmade. It's not like you're buying McDonald's, right? Where the sandwich is the same every time you go. Like, this is very unique. Also, I think what makes it, just special. Because how often do you have a handmade product? Every single cigar you smoke was touched by a series of hands. That's really special, right? That's really special. All right, folks, it is time for the top 5 today.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Here is today's top 5 list.
I'm just going to wipe my nose, Need some spice to everything. So, I already have a problem with this top 5, but sure.
Okay.
So, it was top 5 luxury women's wear brands via Muse Luxe. There's agenda right there. Muse Luxe is a retailer for luxury goods, but we'll get to that. So number 1 is Chanel. Funny that, because I worked with them for 20 years. I still love them. Did not burn any bridges, so that's fine. Hermes is number 2, Burberry number 3, Gucci 4, and Prada is 5.
So what's your problem with?
Here's the thing, though, with the luxury brands in general. Luxury brands just keep sort of evolving in terms of they're blurring the lines nowadays, from luxury from mass market to more exclusive. And it's just so many elements there. Is it the status why you're getting that? Is it the price point? Is it the materials? It's just so many elements to it. And I feel like same with in cigars. You have these truly luxury cigars and brands and lines that do have that name, and they do present their product accordingly. But then there are brands that will, claim them to be luxury, and yet, you can put really bad cigar in a fancy packaging, Fabergé egg and whatnot, and then it really does not change the quality of the cigar, but here we are. So I'd say, personally, with the luxury, it's like Chanel is truly, has a history. So there's Hermes, and I would say Dior would be then there. I would say any brands that stand out for you. Louis Vuitton, that's one of those brands that has that long history, and it's a beautiful brand and very recognized. However, some aspects there could, be a little materials could be off, because here's the thing. Let's say a bag can be produced in Asian country and then shipped to France, and let's say the last piece, zipper, is added to the bag, hence they can claim made in France, because that's the rule. Like the last assembly need to be in a country that you will state made in. So France,
Italy. Know that. So the majority of the product can be made elsewhere, but wherever it is last is what they can tag it with.
Yes.
That's fascinating. Wow.
So then it's up to you. You end up, judging the product. Does it truly represent luxury nowadays? Or is it, just based on a name? Because I believe, not too familiar with the whole cigar, who could claim, who not. Is it accurate nowadays that a brand that has been around for a very long time still has that quality within it, or they just,
They kind of ride their name a little bit.
Exactly. So
interesting. It is. I guess it is kind of the same concept. I have a friend in London. She might be watching right now. Who she works as a tailor. She works with clothes, and she was talking about fast fashion and how so much is being produced to kind of hit the trend or the quota or whatever it might be, and truly handmade, chosen as far as fabrics go, tailored clothes are hopefully making a little bit of a comeback. And there's something you can wear for years and years and years without it fraying and I think the true, that's kind of accurate for cigars. The true luxury are the ones that are given that attention and given that care, the time with aging. Right. It's kind of the same concept, right? You could pump out a ton of cigars and they'll be fine. Are you writing the name, or is it actually luxury?
There you go.
That's interesting. All right. I didn't know that. I learn something new every day, but I didn't know that about the maiden country. That's fascinating. Yeah. So is that just clothes that or is that
no,
that's
it's everything.
Bags, that's everything?
Clothing, shoes, let's say with the fine jewelry, for example, right? The things that you would assume and be so, convinced, oh my gosh, yes, it's made in France, and they have this little magical factory there where they assemble things. Same thing. Same with the lighters. I have been disappointed with some big brands, not going to mention the names, but a luxury brand in accessories, and majority of their accessories made in China. And then they assemble the screw there or whatnot, and then it's Parisian brand.
So what happens to a lot of the luxury brands usually, if the bags, for example, it's lifetime. So if something happens to the strap, you're able to bring it back. So when you bring your bag back, you hope that you get your bag back.
Okay.
That's what I would worry about.
They used to. Chanel had, so does Hermes, but Chanel had that thing when if it broke, they stood by the quality, and you would send it back and they would, fix the things, and it's not anymore as accurate. Now they don't really do it, or it takes forever. They say, oh, this will take 6 months to repair the little link on the chain. And then you'll be like, oh no. And then it costs as well to repair it. So they have made the whole process more difficult nowadays. So you just end up questioning next time if you want to purchase that. And I think nowadays people, just like with cigars, I believe it's the same. you look for that consistency, quality, not necessarily big name, but something you have smoked a couple of times, you're like, oh my gosh, it's only $12. I love it.
Yeah.
Instead of, spending $40, $50 for some limited release, questionable quality, just because of the name.
I think this is a great example of this particular cigar. $8.99, $9 for a Churchill, and it's smoking great. Everyone's burn lines look amazing. We haven't had to relight. It's impressive. So that consistency, I think that's spot on, and that's a differentiator between the fast fashion cigars, I guess, and the long-standing luxury cigars. So that is fascinating. I did not know any of that, Agnes. I really appreciate your expertise. I also didn't know you were at Chanel, so that's really cool. Very cool history.
I mean, I still love them.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. I do. I do, but no question, I think we sometimes choose certain things, whether it's cigars, for a certain status, to look good to the peers. And we overlook the actual genuine experience with the cigar. It's flashing a Cuban or that latest accessory, and sometimes the whole experience with cigars gets lost in that translation, and you're like, so I think we need to reel it back and appreciate what the leaf is and the cigar making and the beautiful, but bottom line, just cut light, smoke it, figure it out for yourself, and don't
Cut
be
light,
influenced by, I don't know, big magazines, or have it your own experience, and be open. Don't judge things just by the way it looks, and
Yeah, don't be afraid to try different things. I mean, the other thing is too, we talk about all these, luxury brands. It also goes back to the store or a company standing behind their product. So the cigars, if it's not smoking right, burning right, drawing correctly, not all stores are going to stand by, and say, yes, we will,
we'll make it right.
We'll make it right, and we'll send you how many, cigars so you can, have that, enjoyment. That's the other thing too, and you just opened my eyes to a whole new, world with luxury brands.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do think some of those rules apply across luxury brands. That's fascinating. Well, thank you for that. That was our top 5 today, folks. And you know something about luxury cigars and luxury clothing wear. I know the next segment is ultimately Kiltman's Corner, but he is noticeably absent today. Kiltman, we love you if you're watching. Today, it is Ruby's Corner.
Red Anchor is the world's first cigar brand, beginning in 1772, now celebrating over 250 years. United Cigar, in partnership with the famed Kellner family, reintroduced Red Anchor cigars, now blended in the Dominican Republic, featuring an Ecuador wrapper, Monte Plata binder, and fillers of San Vicente, Habano 92, and Pennsylvania broadleaf. This 3-country blend creates a medium-bodied, smooth profile of cedar, nutmeg, shortbread, and a rich, buttery finish. It's time to relish the return of Red Anchor cigars.
So I guess apparently I need to use my glasses for this.
I ordered some too, so don't feel bad about it.
Well,
we just look fabulous,
Voo Glam, I will tell you, these are just, for the price. But anyway, what's coming is this April. It's the 10th anniversary, Davidoff Escurio, to honor the 10th anniversary of its Escurio line. Davidoff Cigars releases the Davidoff Escurio 10th Anniversary Limited Edition Grand Toro. The blend is composed of a well-aged Dominican tobaccos and Brazilian Bahia tobaccos with a combined age of 45 years. This includes a filler tobacco that has been refined in a bourbon cask for added sweetness and depth. They come in boxes of 12 and a price tag of $37 per single and $443.99 per box of 10. And again, that's coming sometime this April.
You want to talk about luxury?
That is luxury beyond, but I can't. Me personally, I can't afford that for my everyday smoke. I mean, I smoke a lot of cigars, believe it or not.
I believe that, every word of that. Miss Den Shed in the back, are you kidding me? You're a pro.
No, oh my gosh, and it's my own fault. I should have listened And I went from the tabletop, then I gave that to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to the, I forget what it's like, the half.
Like the half.
The half.
Yeah.
So I have the half in the house, and then I'm like, oh my God, I can't. You go to the shows, you go, and I have the half, and I have the tall tower. So, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This is something I would try for the single. I mean, it's a unique blend. Obviously, this is a very well-known company, and thanks, Dan. It's definitely something to give a shot, you know, if you've got it in your local retailer, and give it a try, because Davidoff's, I mean, they've been in the game forever. So, and I like those pop-ups, right? Those like limited releases. I'm always down to try something for the like the one-off, or, you know, maybe grab a couple for a special occasion or something like that. But I also look for that brand that is consistent, you know, and I'll smoke that among these cool limited releases like that, or the big new cigar, you know, in town or something like that.
And sometimes you forget. You have all these cigars and you've smoked them, but then, you know, you smoke so many of them, and then, like, oh, I need to go back to that. I haven't pulled that out in a while to try it, you know?
And you kind of remember, or it's better because it had some time to sit and age. Like, I found some Bandoleros at the bottom of my humidor the other day. First run, 2020, 2021, I can't remember, when they got re-released in the wooden boxes. That is one of the best cigars I've smoked in like a year probably. Wow. But I kind of forgot about them. They've got age on them. I mean, it was luxury. And I wouldn't necessarily call that a luxury cigar, but it tasted like it because of that age and that time that you have. So that's awesome. Thanks for that. Ruby's Corner, brought to you by Red Anchor Cigars. We've been smoking this for just under an hour now. This Churchill would probably last me another half hour, but fortunately we can't stick around with you guys for another half hour. So I think it's time to rate our Montosa Natural Churchill. I saw Agnes write hers down real fast. I'm not looking at hers yet, but I knew mine probably 15 minutes into the smoke. It is just as good as I remember. Agnes, what was yours?
92.
92.
No way.
What did you do? 92 across the board.
Wow.
Fantastic. $8.99 for the single. Folks, if you have not smoked this cigar, I highly recommend it. Come see us at Two Guys Cigars. Order it online. It's fantastic. It's your daily.
It is.
That's great. I mean, I don't go much higher than a 92 for everyday smokes, just kind of by, I guess, happenstance, but I freaking love this cigar.
It's really good.
It's good. All right, folks. Well, this was your Ash Heels takeover, friendly takeover, not a hostile takeover, of the Ash Holes podcast. Next week, PCA preview, and the boys are back in town. You can welcome them with open arms. We may return soon. Send us an email at theashholespodcast@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of this week's episode. We'd love to hear your feedback or hear any criticisms otherwise. I mean, we'll get it. Don't worry, we'll hear you. Until then, you have been listening to the Ash Holes, broadcasting from the Studio 21 Cigar Studio above Two Guys Smoke Shop in Salem, New Hampshire. Ladies, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It was enjoyable.
This was great. We'll see ya.
Bye, everybody.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.